Ancient stone walls in Egypt hide stories that shaped Christianity for millennia, and the final complex will surprise even the most seasoned historians. Stay tuned until number 1. Hidden among the stark dunes of the eastern desert lies the world's oldest Christian monastery, founded in the early 4th century by the hermit Anthony the Great. According to tradition, a small group of ascetics gathered around his modest cell, drawn by his reputation for spiritual insight. Over time, stone cells, a communal refectory, and a simple chapel emerged, forming a self-sufficient community that survived raids and shifting political tides. The monastery's layout, clusters of cells radiating from a central church, set a template for later Coptic foundations. Its library once housed dozens of Greek and Coptic codices, preserving theological works that might otherwise have vanished. Pilgrims still walk its worn pathways, hearing the echo of ancient chants that once rose with the desert wind. Visitors can see the original kerber, a stone oven used for communal meals, underscoring the blend of prayer and daily labor that defined early monastic life.
Discover the cliffside sanctuary of St. Paul, perched dramatically above the Red Sea's turquoise waters, where monks sought isolation while remaining connected to maritime trade routes. Established in the 5th century, the complex consists of a series of rock-cut chapels and cell blocks linked by narrow pathways hewn directly into limestone. Its strategic position allowed the community to receive alms from passing ships, a lifeline that funded manuscript copying and icon production. The monastery's frescoes, recently restored, depict biblical scenes rendered in vivid Coptic colors, offering clues about artistic exchanges between Egypt and the Byzantine world. Water was harvested from natural springs and stored in underground cisterns, an engineering feat that sustained the monks through arid seasons. Today, the site remains an active pilgrimage destination, and its austere architecture continues to inspire modern contemplative retreats seeking a balance between solitude and accessibility.
Imagine stepping into a network of caves that once echoed with the prayers of thousands, for the Monastery of St. Macarius the Great occupies a sprawling plateau in the Wadi el-Natrun region, founded in the 4th century by the desert father Macarius. The complex blends natural grottos with purpose-built stone structures, creating a labyrinth of cells, a grand basilica, and a bustling infirmary. Historical accounts suggest the monastery housed up to 5,000 monks during its peak, making it a major hub of theological debate and manuscript production. Its scriptorium produced copies of the Septuagint and early Coptic liturgical texts, many of which survive only in this remote archive. The site also features a remarkable Hall of the Saints, where marble icons were arranged in concentric circles, reflecting an early form of devotional choreography. Modern archaeological surveys reveal sophisticated water management systems, including aqueducts that channeled spring water across the plateau, underscoring the monks' ingenuity in turning a barren landscape into a thriving spiritual oasis.
Surprisingly, the Monastery of St. Pishoy, nestled near the desert oasis of Wadi el-Natrun, became a center for both ascetic rigor and scholarly activity, despite its remote location. Founded in the 5th century, the monastery's cloister is lined with modest stone cells, each illuminated by oil lamps that flickered against ancient frescoes depicting the life of its namesake. The community emphasized communal worship, with a spacious nave where chants resonated for hours, reinforcing a shared rhythm of prayer. Pishoy's reputation for miracle-working attracted pilgrims who brought gifts that funded the construction of a library, housing over 300 parchment codices, including rare homilies by early church fathers. The monastery's garden, cultivated with date palms and barley, provided sustenance and symbolized the monks' balance of work and contemplation. Even today, the site remains active, and its annual feast draws believers who celebrate the enduring legacy of monastic hospitality and learning.
Archaeologists have uncovered that the Monastery of St. Moses the Black, perched on a mist-shrouded plateau in the Nitrian desert, served as a refuge for former bandits turned hermits in the 6th century. Moses, a former slave and soldier, embraced a life of penance, and his followers built a series of modest stone cells that clung to the mountain's edge. The monastery's defensive walls, constructed from locally quarried limestone, suggest a need for protection against desert raiders. Inside, a modest chapel bears a mosaic floor depicting a stylized palm tree, a rare iconographic element linking the community to the surrounding flora. The site's water cisterns, carved deep into the rock, collected seasonal rain, allowing the monks to sustain themselves through prolonged droughts. Contemporary visitors report a lingering sense of serenity, as the wind whistles through the narrow passages where ancient prayers once rose.
Few people know that the Monastery of St. Shenoute at Chouz, situated along the Nile's fertile banks, became a powerhouse of theological education in the 7th century. Founded by Shenoute, a charismatic abbot, the complex featured a large refectory, a scriptorium, and a series of lecture halls where monks debated doctrinal issues. The monastery's strategic riverside location facilitated the transport of parchment, ink, and food, linking the monastic community to broader trade networks. Shenoute's prolific writings, many of which were composed within these walls, emphasized communal discipline, charity, and rigorous scriptural study. Excavations have revealed intricate mosaics portraying biblical scenes, suggesting an early integration of visual art into monastic pedagogy. The site also housed a sizable infirmary, reflecting the community's commitment to caring for the sick. Today, remnants of the original stone arches stand as a testament to the monastery's once vibrant intellectual life.
Legend says the Monastery of St. Bishoy, perched on a rugged cliff overlooking the Red Sea, was founded by a group of desert hermits seeking both isolation and the soothing rhythm of the waves. Established in the 8th century, the complex includes a modest chapel carved directly into the sandstone, with narrow windows framing endless horizons. Fishermen from nearby villages supplied the monks with fresh catch, while the monks, in turn, offered prayers for safe voyages, creating a symbiotic relationship between the sacred and the secular. The monastery's iconostasis features marine motifs uncommon in inland Coptic churches, reflecting its coastal character. Its modest garden, cultivated with salt-tolerant herbs, provided medicinal remedies used by the monastic infirmary. Modern visitors can still hear the distant surf as they walk the stone pathways, feeling the continuity of a spiritual tradition that has endured alongside the sea's timeless pulse.
Beneath the rolling sand dunes of the Fayum region lies the modest yet historically rich Monastery of St. George at Deir el Muharraq, a site that dates back to the 5th century. The complex consists of a small chapel, a series of cell blocks, and a communal courtyard surrounded by mud brick walls. Its strategic placement near a now dry oasis allowed monks to practice agriculture, growing wheat and barley to sustain the community. The chapel's interior once displayed a painted fresco of St. George slaying the dragon, a rare example of early Coptic iconography that blended local artistic styles with broader Christian symbolism. Excavations have uncovered pottery shards bearing inscriptions that reference daily prayers, indicating a disciplined liturgical routine. Although largely abandoned after the medieval period, the site still draws scholars interested in the interplay between desert monasticism and agrarian life.
Centuries ago, the Monastery of the Virgin Mary rose beside the alkaline waters of Wadi el Natrun's salt lakes, becoming a focal point for female monasticism in Egypt. Founded in the 4th century, the convent housed a community of nuns devoted to prayer, textile production, and the copying of sacred texts. Its distinctive architecture includes a central courtyard surrounded by vaulted cloisters, each opening onto a modest chapel dedicated to the Theotokos. The nuns were renowned for weaving intricate linen garments, some of which were gifted to nearby churches, fostering a network of spiritual and economic exchange. Historical records suggest that the convent's library once contained over 200 codices, many of which detailed hymns unique to the female monastic tradition. Today, the site remains partially inhabited, and its silent stone walls continue to echo the chants of generations of devoted women. We've traveled from the desert sands of St. Anthony's to the lofty peaks of St. Catherine, uncovering how each monastic complex acted as a beacon for early believers, a center of learning, and a refuge from a changing world. These sites remind us that faith can shape architecture, art, and entire societies. If you enjoyed this journey, subscribe so you don't miss the next one. New mind-blowing lists every week. Which monastery left the strongest impression on you? Let us know in the comments below, and if you found this video worthwhile, please give it a like. Thank you for watching.